hands down. I mean, like it's a toss up, but I feel like I would give
Hands
the
down,
nod.
it's a toss-up. You can't say that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You
That's
can't
yeah.
say hands
Okay.
down,
That's
it's
an
a
Okay. I'm sorry.
toss-up.
Let me
That's an
rephrase that.
No, no,
oxymoron.
no, I'm not letting you go back and fix
yeah.
that.
I'm gonna.
On this episode, the 2026 World Baseball Classic finishes pool play and the baseball has been fantastic. Paul Skenes has a budding bromance with Bobby Witt Jr. An electrician has an emotional moment on the world stage. Raleigh won't fist bump a teammate. And Brian invents a whole new set of financial indicators to hang your hat on. All this and more on this episode of Three Tool Players. Welcome to Three Tool Players. I'm Chris Beard. Alongside me, as always, are the Hammer brothers, Brian and Dan Hammer. Say hello to the internets, fellas.
Hello to the internets, fellows.
Ahoy, ahoy.
The World Baseball Classic has been underway and it has completed pool play. And as we sit here on the eve of the tournament, lots of good storylines to get into. But I got to start with how good the baseball has been. You got to figure these are guys that are playing in spring training, and they are playing at an elite level already. It's been unbelievable to watch.
I mean, you know the person who is unbelievable to watch right now? Bobby Witt Jr. It seems like he has not taken a day off since the end of last season. I mean, he is in mid-season form, and he's just magical at shortstop.
My favorite have been the memes with Paul Skenes. Get yourself a partner that looks at you the same way Paul Skenes looks at Bobby Witt Jr. Because it was like Bobby Witt Jr. is making diving catches to rob base hits from people and throwing out folks from his knees. It was unreal. And there's Paul Skenes just smiling like, I love this guy. You got to wonder whether or not Paul Skenes was thinking to himself, man, this is actually good. Like, I'm playing with good players. I might actually win something. Like, poor Paul Skenes got a taste of what it's like to play with good talent, and now he's got to go back to the Pirates.
That and his girlfriend, whenever he's in a picture with Livy Dunn, you can just see that he just has just a regular half smile. Just looks like he's like, yeah, I'm here for the picture. But then Bobby Witt Jr., I think he does have a man crush.
A little bit.
Hey, have you seen her go deep in the hole and rob somebody of a base hit? Probably not. And I'm going to be careful about how I rephrase that.
I don't know if there's any way to be careful about phrasing that. The baseball has been really, really good. I mean, baseball's flying out of the ballpark. Incredible pitching. Skubal looked amazing. Ohtani's hitting grand slams. Pasquantino went off the other night, and we'll get into that in a second. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of have to go back to some of the other folks that have played in games that maybe weren't the biggest games that you saw on the biggest stages, but had huge stories associated with them. The one story here is a pitcher from the Czech Republic who's an electrician, but he came out and he pitched 4 2/3 scoreless innings against a really good team, Japan. His name is Andre Satoria.
Spear, would you say that his stuff was electric?
Oh my God.
Thank you very much.
Take 2 laps for that one.
No, come on. You can't sit there and say that's not like the low-hanging like dad joke fruit. Come on.
Absolutely.
I feel like that was like a George Costanza. All right, I'm done. I'm
that's
getting
my
out of
time.
here.
That's it.
Try the veal.
But here's a guy, as I break out my best Chris Collinsworth, here's a guy who rarely topped 80 miles per hour on the speed gun. I mean, he throws on average like 70 miles an hour. He struck out 3. He gave up no runs, 6 hits over 4 2/3. And he got a standing ovation as he walked off the mound. In his last appearance at the World Baseball Classic, the Tokyo Dome gave this man a standing ovation. And in the tears that were in his eyes, if you watch baseball and you don't get teary-eyed watching this guy feel all of those feels, I don't know what to tell you. That was an emotional moment for a ball player on the world stage. And this was it for him. He's going to go back to his job as an electrician. Nothing but good vibes coming out of the World Baseball Classic for this guy.
When this guy goes back to the Czech Republic, you know that he's going to get endorsements hands down. Absolutely.
Oh, no doubt about it. He'll never have to buy a beer in the Czech Republic like that guy. And those are big beers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he won't have to buy one. That's a good job by him.
I agree. Sky's the limit for this guy and couldn't be happier for him.
Good for him.
Yeah, good job by that guy.
That's what I say. Good for him.
That's what I'm saying. It's good. It's good for baseball. The World Baseball Classic is good for baseball. And anybody says otherwise, I think, is lying. The play has been good. The energy, the emotions have been good. Like, have you watched the Dominican Republic play? They are playing like men possessed. They're just excited and energetic. it's a lot of fun to watch. You don't get to see that kind of emotion and passion for baseball during the regular season. It's a completely different environment with this thing.
Well, you think about it, they're playing a kid's game, and like you can see it when they're facing their opponents, they treat them with respect. And you can even say that they're just having fun. You can just sense that, like whenever like they play whatever team that they're playing, it's because they're like, look, we're on a world stage right now. Let's show what we can do, but also let's have fun doing it.
Yeah, but not everybody plays with emotion. The U.S. team is a little dour. Nobody personified that more than Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
Oh, yeah. Because, Dan, you mentioned respect earlier, and people are trying to play it up, but then other people are trying to play it down that there's no beef there. But, I mean, why make that choice on the world stage?
So, but the disrespect there was Randy Arozarena comes up. Again, this is his teammate with the Seattle Mariners. Arozarena comes up to bat and wants to give a little dap to his teammate. And Cal Raleigh's like, nuh-uh, nope. Like, he was just locked in. He's like, I'm not fist bumping you, dude. Arozarena was incredulous. He could not believe it. Afterwards, he went on kind of a tirade where he was like, he can go to hell. The best part of Randy Arozarena's whole tirade was that he began it all with saying that Cal Raleigh's parents were good people. And then he's like, Cal's not, and he can go to hell. Like, that to me was the best. He's like, it's not his parents' fault. Cal Raleigh's just not good people.
How about
you go to hell?
And then Cal Raleigh talks about it like the next day. He's trying to brush it off, and like he's being asked questions, but he's like, "Oh yeah, we're fine. We'll get back and we'll be fine." And I was trying to give Cal the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, you know what? Batters always have pine tar on their hands. Maybe Cal just said, you know what? I don't want to shake your hand because I don't want to get pine tar on my hand. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. But when Randy Arozarena came out and said that, I was like, it was definitely something different. So it was just the competitive juices that were flowing in Cal Raleigh, thinking he's like, nope, this is all business. Dude, show some love to your fellow teammate that you're going to have to go back to in the next couple weeks. But case in point is Dominican Republic versus Venezuela. Fernando Tatis comes walking up, lead off, and William Contreras comes over from the pitcher. He's walking back to behind the plate. And what do? They slap hands and give a very big hug, a warm embrace, saying like, hey, we're on the same level right here. Let's have a good game. You could see that we respect one another. We're going to show love to one another. You did not get that from Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena, even though that they are on the same team.
It was just weird. It was just weird.
I think there's a mixture of everything, right? There's a mixture of hyper vigilance, competitiveness that's happens, right?
Yep.
Playing at the top level and just trying to stay locked in and be true. And also, too, maybe it's a show to your pitcher to say, look, I got your back. I don't have this guy's back. Even though this guy's on my team during the regular season, we get paid for this. But on this stage, in this moment, I'm your guy behind the plate. You got to trust me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a step down from when Kobe Bryant in the Olympics ran a pick right through Pau Gasol, floored him, knocked him straight to the ground. So it's a little bit of a step down from there. Like, hey, look, Pau and I, we're bros when we get back to the Lakers, but I'm going to hit this guy right here on the world stage. It could have been kind of that hyper competitiveness. I can see it. But I don't know, man. I mean, Cal's excuse was just, it was my game face. I'm just focused. And he says there's no beef. It's just theater. I'm fine. I'll buy it. I'll buy all of that until you got to go back to the clubhouse and try to shake that guy's hand. That's a tough one.
I don't know. True or false here? Randy Arozarena gets traded mid-season.
Yeah, false.
True. Totally true.
Come on, over this? That would be the best. Hang on. If Randy Arozarena gets traded because of a missed fist bump in the World Baseball Classic, holy cow.
It's going to be a toxic clubhouse.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
No fist bumping for anybody.
Yeah. Get out. I
Big dumper.
No way. Big dumper. The big dumper took a big dump all over Randy Arozarena. That's it.
Absolutely did.
Well, the big dumper, at least, is going to be a part of the single elimination bracket that is about to start as we're recording this. It's about to start tomorrow. The U.S. is very, very lucky to be a part of this tournament. They got into it by backing into it by virtue of having the Italians beat the Mexican team.
It was shellacking. And Vinny Pasquantino has been the savior for Team USA.
Yeah, Vinny Pasquantino had to be fueled by I can't tell you how much caffeine because he had to do 3 shots of espresso. Every time somebody on Team Italy hit a home run, they had an espresso machine in the dugout. This was my favorite thing. Like, there's jackets people wear, there's hats that people wear. The Italian team, very on brand, had an espresso machine in the dugout.
And that should be against the rules because that's performance enhancement right there. All right.
I guess.
Way too much caffeine. Like, I mean, how do you think doctors take care of us on a daily basis? I mean, if you cut a doctor open, there's nothing but caffeine that spills out of their veins. You understand me? They're the reason why we're all alive today. So give a good tip to your medical professionals out there, knowing that caffeine is keeping us all well and healthy. But I will say that there's a little bit of an edge here, and I cry foul.
You know what I loved the most was Vinny's post-game interview where he calls out Team USA. He's like, "Hey guys, yeah, I was thinking about you in your hotel rooms. Yeah, so yeah, you can thank us. Yeah,
He's like,
you're making
you're
it.
welcome, USA.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, USA.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Team
the
USA.
old salute.
I helped you out with my 3 home runs.
With my 3 home
You're
runs.
Welcome.
Fueled by caffeine. I mean, didn't they ban amphetamines because it was keeping people up? This guy's doing 3 shots of espresso. Take about 20% off there, Vinny Pasquantino.
Yeah, and you know that's going to be much more potent coming from Italy. So
that's
be
strong.
honest.
That's a strong dark Italian roast.
That's a strong, dark, uncut, roast that you're dealing with right there, my friend. This isn't sitting on some store shelf collecting mold for months on end. No. This is picked right from the bean. Actually, fun facts. I read about Teddy Roosevelt. He had very, very bad asthma as a child, or the only thing that he could do at that point was to drink coffee as a 5-year-old on up. And by the time he got to be an adult, he was drinking a gallon of coffee a day. But this is, again, back when coffee was basically pure. There was no industrialization to it. It was just, hey, I'm going to pick this from the right crop. It's going to come to us, and it's going to be absolutely pure, and that's good stuff. Puts hair on your chest. Nowadays, you're dealing with pesticides and inventory issues and infestation. That's right. I'm calling the coffee industry out right now. But what I'm trying to say is, interestingly enough, Teddy Roosevelt is a badass, did it on pure coffee, and now the Italians are doing it to punch their ticket through the WBC.
And so they did. They won their pool and got the United States in on their coattails. There's no other way to say it.
I just want our audience to know that, yes, Brian does have ADD, and he went that route. For some odd reason, we were talking about Teddy Roosevelt, but, this is a baseball podcast.
It is.
But,
and I tied it to coffee that was tied to the Italians who are using this performance. I'll speak slower, Daniel, for you.
Thanks for the history lesson, Brian.
Well, because of that, you're now smarter.
Podcast.
Congratulations. Yes. Pick up a book, Dan. It helps.
I feel more intelligent right now.
Oh, my God.
Full service podcast here on 3 Tool Players. Full service. The best part of the U.S.
Waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Oh,
okay, I'm done.
God.
I swear, I'm done now. Couldn't help it.
The best part of the U.S. barely making the single elimination tournament was Mark DeRosa believing that they already had. Mark DeRosa did an interview where he's like, "Yeah, we're not worried. We already punched our ticket to the tournament." And like, hey, manager Mark DeRosa, it would be helpful if you knew what the rules were. Because you didn't get that one right, and you barely squeaked in, bud.
Math is hard.
To be fair, math is hard, and the tiebreaker rules for this tournament are insane. You needed a slide rule to figure out how the tiebreaker was going to work out in Pool C. The tiebreaker was between South Korea, Australia, and Chinese Taipei. They all finished 2-2, and the tiebreaker came down to runs allowed per defensive out in games between the tied teams. So like there was a guy that they had on TV who had this like huge chart, and as the broadcasters are trying to explain all the different tiebreaker scenarios, they kept going back to him because he was the only one that had it charted out and could tell you with certainty what the answer was. So I mean, maybe I give Mark DeRosa a pass for not being able to have advanced calculus. But at that point, the math was a lot easier. He should have known that they still had a few games left to play. But
from my understanding, there would be no math.
That's right. So we'll see how this all shakes out in the bracket. The U.S. sneaks in with Italy. Their first game is going to be against Canada, which won their pool for the first time in World Baseball Classic history. So kind of a big deal for Canada. Puerto Rico is the Pool A runner-up. They're going to play Italy with Aaron Nola and Vinny Pasquantino. And I got to ask you something there, Dan. I mean, Aaron Nola looked lights out in this tournament so far. It's got to feel good.
I'm feeling quite the relief right now.
The third quarterfinal is going to be Venezuela against Japan, and Japan has got another lights out team. But for me, the favorite in all of this may actually be the Dominican Republic, who plays Korea. They have a lineup that can go toe-to-toe with the U.S. Just one game, the lineup looked like this. Fernando Tatis Jr., Ketel Marte, Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Caminero, Carlos Santana, O'Neal Cruz. I mean, that lineup goes deep.
You even forgot Guerrero Jr. too.
Who didn't play this day. So this is a lineup that can go deep. They're probably the only team in the World Baseball Classic that has a lineup that can go toe-to-toe with the Americans. But to me, this is a team that could and should win it all. They have depth in their lineup. They have depth on the bench. They have good pitching. They play with emotion. They play with passion. I think they get through Korea easily.
Oh, wow. Dan, you should know better. And Spear, this is for your education. If our mother, Pat Hammer, were here at this very moment and you besmirched this Korean team, you'd each get a smack on the face with a slipper because she loves her K-dramas on the Netflixes. I mean, she's so deep into it. Like, she's into the subtitles, just reading. There's no more English dub. So for you to come here and say that Korea doesn't have a shot, I have another thing to tell you about the matriarch of this Hammer family. She's got a few words to say to you. All right. There's many, many, many hours. I don't think she's watched anything American in the last 3 months, Dan. I think she's totally all in. Doesn't stop the fact that these Koreans, they got pluck and they have great stories to tell. And the best story of all is that they're going to overcome this juggernaut of a team that you guys are saying is going to steamroll over them. So how dare you?
Well, all right. First of all, my apologies to Mom Hammer. I do not mean to disparage or to in any way, shape, or form slander the good people of South Korea who generate such great entertainment for her. I have nothing but love and respect for every Netflix drama that's out there that she buries her eyeballs into. But I'm sorry, Mrs. Hammer. This is going to be a blowout, and I don't think there's any way around that.
Yeah, I will have to say about the Korean dramas. I walked in and I saw she was watching something that was like equivalent to like a Saved by the Bell, but Korean. And you know what? I got drawn in. I was like, you know what? This is actually pretty good.
Oh, Saved by the Bell's the worst. Oh, I hate that show so much.
Better acting. The Korean, like they do like a good job when it comes to the arts.
I'm sorry. Mark Paul Gosselaar would like to have a word.
Yes. AC Slater has entered the conversation.
That's right. Mario Lopez has entered the chat. Let's turn our attention to the U.S. versus Canada. Soroka versus Logan Webb. This is going to be an interesting game. The Canadians aren't exactly underpowered. They have a pretty good team. The reality is that the Americans have just that much more bats in their lineup. So you got to give the edge here to Team USA. That's a really, really good lineup. And DeRosa's got choices as to who he wants to put in there. Like if you're choosing between Cal Raleigh and Will Smith, I mean, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
that's bananas. I don't know. I just feel like the Team USA's got the edge here. I think they get through Canada relatively easily.
You know what they remind me of just a little bit? It's, you ever play the game Baseball Stars on the old school Nintendo?
Yeah.
They're like the American dream team, right? It's like anywhere up and down the lineup. And they couldn't use the real names, of course, because they didn't have the licensing rights. But you knew who was up, batting in the 3-hole is Babe. Draw what you can from that conclusion.
That's right.
But my goodness, right? This is the team that DeRosa is getting to choose from, right? And you picking people off the bench that are also, all-stars and potential Hall of Famers. So, yeah, it's a spoil of riches for this gentleman. And fun fact about Baseball Stars, it was the first video game to actually show somebody having the ability to climb the wall and rob a home run. So good for Baseball Stars.
On the other side of the bracket, You got, I think, two really interesting games: Venezuela and Japan. Japan is obviously a juggernaut. Japan's got the other best player in baseball in Otani. They have the bats with guys that are coming over into Major League Baseball in the form of Kazuma Okamoto and Munetaka Murakami. Murakami's hitting the ball a ton. But on the other side of this is a Venezuela team that is stacked. Ronald Acuna Jr., Jackson Churio, Wilson Contreras, Eugenio Suarez.
Luis Suarez.
This is a team that's got the bats to compete. This is probably the best game in the first round for me. It's probably the closest one. If I'm going to make a call here, I might lean into Venezuela a little bit. They're playing with a lot of energy. They're playing with a lot of passion. I'm picking Venezuela here in an upset in the first round.
Interesting.
It's going to be tough because of the pitching matchup too. They have Yamamoto starting for Japan, and then they have Ranger Suarez.
That's a great
starting
matchup,
for Venezuela.
That's a great matchup.
Yeah.
That's a great matchup. I don't know, man.
The thing that worries me the most about Venezuela is because of that passion. Sometimes that energy can be used in the wrong direction. Sometimes it could fizzle out. Sometimes you might, go too far, and
or you're pressing and you overplay.
You press, and exactly right. Whereas you look at Japan, they're methodical. They have been here before. They know what it takes to win, and they just go out and they play their game plan. So I'm all for passion, and I'm all for, some of that volatility at times to kind of get you amped up, but your adrenaline can only take you so far. That's where I kind of lean back into Japan winning this round.
All right. Dan, who you got?
I will have to give the nod to Japan. I would love for Venezuela to move forward, but I feel like Japan is just too much.
Yeah, and the final game of the first round is Puerto Rico versus Italy. I don't know, man. This is another coin flip for me. Italy's playing really well. They swept their pool. They went 4-0. They beat Team USA. Here's a Puerto Rican team that's pretty good. I don't think they're as stacked as some of the other teams in the bracket, Venezuela, DR. I would give a nod here to Italy. I think they're hot. They're fueled by caffeine. And I think they beat Puerto Rico in the first round.
I tend to agree with you. It's the matchup. The pitching matchup is Seth Lugo, who is a very good starting pitcher, right, Spear?
Yes, unfortunately. Yes.
Yeah.
Stupid Mets.
But he's pitching for Puerto Rico, and he's going against Michael Lorenzen. Michael Lorenzen, he's always flipped back from like a starter pitcher to a relief pitcher, but he has some good stuff too. But when it comes to the team, the roster, I don't know. There's just something fun about Team Italy. It just looks like all the guys on that team are just having a great time, and I feel like it's just going to move forward, and they're going to be facing Team Japan in the semis.
The Cappuccino Kids. What do you think, Brian?
Now, you know what? Fine. I'll say this. You take away the Cappuccino Kid, you take away that Magic Go-Go bean, it's Puerto Rico all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. All right. But you keep the espresso machine in there with the little lemon rinds to kind of make things extra fancy with your pinky out. Then it's anyone's ball game. But if we're playing fair baseball, I give it to Puerto Rico, and you can't deny Yadi Molina, in the skipper role there. I think that he's a good general. I'm leaning towards Puerto Rico.
I'd have to say on this side of the bracket, those two games, Puerto Rico versus Italy and Venezuela versus Japan, both those games are going to be tight games.
They're going to be interesting games.
Yeah. The other two, I feel like USA definitely will beat Canada. They're supposed to. And Dominican Republic, sorry, Mom, they will beat Korea.
I agree.
That's absolutely. Hey, by the way, have you gentlemen ever been to Puerto Rico?
I have.
You have? Dan, have you?
No, I have not.
Well, we have got to get you mofongo. All right.
No.
Mofongo in and of itself just should make Puerto Rico win, just for the absolute delight that dish is.
They should have just a giant vat of mofongo and they every time somebody hits a home run, they take a huge chunk,
spoon
of mofongo. Yeah. I mean, we'll show those Italians.
Yeah, they won't go around the bases by the seventh inning, but God,
that's right.
The best.
Oh my God.
Oh, mofongo. Just saying, it's fun.
I feel kind of weary of going to Puerto Rico because of what happened to Frank Castle's family. So,
Frank Castle's family. Way to pull a Punisher reference.
Wow.
Good job.
Good gravy.
I'm
Good
glad
job.
someone picked it up.
Good job. A Punisher reference. Nicely done. We're full service here tonight, guys. All kinds of pop culture references.
We've got pop culture. We've got history for you.
Teddy Roosevelt's all her suit. It's crazy.
We have medical. Oh, it's fantastic.
Fantastic. All right, so so we both agree that it should be in the second round. In the semifinal, it's going to be the DR and the US. Whew. Pick that one.
Oh God! It's
Oh,
like
my
flipping
God.
a coin.
I'll tell you what. We'll come back. We'll come back
To that one.
So I think I got outvoted on Venezuela, and Brian got outvoted on Puerto Rico. So we'll put Japan and Italy in the semis. Japan versus Italy. What do you think?
Japan.
Japan, hands down. I feel like the espresso won't hit as hard as it was in the previous games.
Caffeine buzz wears
hangover.
off.
Yeah,
The hangover will be there.
they're gonna
Bad
have the
headaches. The
caffeine.
shakes will happen, right?
Yeah, they're gonna be like, you know what? I just can't do it. So they're just gonna crash.
That's right.
They're all half asleep in the dugout after the caffeine
right.
crash, where they got the shakes and they're trying to hold the bat at home plate and they can't keep
Yeah.
it straight.
All
Dude,
they're gonna-
imagine trying to pitch with the shakes. I mean, there's
Shakes.
no pinpoint accuracy at that point. You know,
That would
Come
explain
on.
an awful lot for Aaron Nola. He must
Oh, yeah.
always be on caffeine. Japan,
All right, so we're saying Japan.
Japan over
in the
Italy.
final.
All right, DR versus US. Pick it.
I go USA. I go USA because they realize that they screwed up and that they got to play with some, purpose now. They steamroll and then they get to Japan because they realize that they need to have the face-off from the previous WBC. I think they want revenge.
I'd have a hard time disagreeing. I wonder who's pitching.
I can tell you
that
who's
game.
pitching.
Please, Daniel.
Who would be pitching that game?
Paul Skenes. Paul
Oh, God.
Skenes will be pitching either against Sandy Alcantara or Luis Severino.
Yeah,
most likely.
so that's
That's
if
a
Paul,
Skenes.
if Paul Skenes is pitching in the semis against the DR, good pitching always beats good hitting.
Mm-hmm.
And Skenes is one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher on the planet. So you got it.
And Bobby Witt is sitting there at shortstop, making googly eyes with him.
They're having their little bromance out there on the infield. Man, I gotta love that. Yep.
You do.
Yep.
So
All
we
right. So
got Team USA against Japan in the final.
US and Japan in the final. Oh.
So Dan, who are you choosing?
Well, I'll tell you, I know who's going to be pitching for Team USA. And
I can tell you it's not Tarek Skubal. Skubal's going
no,
home.
he went home.
They won't
No.
let Skubal pitch again.
but it's our favorite diehard,
Is it Nolan McLean? Nolan McLean's going to pitch the final?
McLean.
Oh my God! So I don't know.
McLean
All right, hold on. As a
is
Met fan,
lined up.
oh no, I don't want this at all.
I love that it comes down. I'm glad that we got to Team USA versus Team Japan in the final. And the person that's supposed to be pitching for Team USA is a Met.
Oh God! I picked Japan.
Yeah.
Oh no!
That's unfortunate. I mean,
That's
look,
unfortunate.
I mean, you can't be the only choice, Dan, right? I mean, you could go with somebody besides McLean, can't you?
They
mean,
could,
Skubal's
but
gone.
right now that's what they're lining up to be because Noah McLean pitched against Team Italy. They're just following the same routes. Tarek Skubal, unfortunately, is gone back to Detroit. So who has to pitch the final? Obviously not Skenes.
I don't know. The irony here is if it's not McLean, the only other starting pitcher I think is Clay Holmes. It's Clay Holmes.
Another Met.
Another Met.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
No.
Well, I mean,
we're cooked.
we could bring Clayton Kershaw back and let him.
Clayton
start.
Kershaw can't pitch more than like an inning and a half before his arm falls off. I'm happy they put him on the team. I'm happy that he had the opportunity to hang out and be a part of it. But there's no way Kershaw is pitching the final. There's just no way. No, it's Nolan McLean or
Boyd
Clay
got
Holmes.
shelled a little bit too, so I don't see him really stepping into that role. So
Oh man, that's a tough
that's
one.
that's going to be a rough final.
That's a tough one. I mean, Nolan McLean's a rookie. Clay Holmes is a converted reliever. Wow, that's a tough one for manager Mark DeRosa.
And what happened here? Like, what happened to all those spoil of riches, right? That we were talking about earlier, right? So now we're backing into, a potential what if situation in a final round, and this is the way that the lineup and the rotation shakes out to be. And all of a sudden, we're all going,
Look, All right, so Clay Holmes pitched remarkably well. He pitched a tremendous game, the one start that he had. Didn't give up any runs. He was really, really good. Got the win. McLean's a rookie. He's got electric stuff. He's got movement on his breaking stuff. He's got electric fastball. The problem is McLean's not battle tested. Like, neither one of these two guys is really battle tested in a high pressure situation, and they're both Mets. So doesn't look good for the U.S. in either case.
All right. So Dan, you said you're leaning towards Japan winning against the U.S. in the final. All right. Spear, your conclusion at this point?
You know what? Let's go Mets. If it's going to be Holmes or it's going to be McLean, let's go Mets. They're gonna lock down Team Japan, and we're gonna win this thing in a walk. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go Mets. Let's go Team USA.
All right.
Oh, the lovable losers. There's hope. There's hope in his eyes.
Let's go Mets.
Oh.
This is it. This is the last time I'm going to say it before they break my heart in April.
Yeah. So I'm rooting for Japan, but not for the reasons you think. Because every time Japan wins, something good happens for the economy. I'm talking about that S&P 500, boys. You got your money in, put your money in right now, the market. Japan wins, you're going to just see a nice bull run happen for yourself, and you're going to get fat and happy, all right? And sitting on those dividends and sitting on that compounded interest, life's going to be so good for you, because I'll tell you the truth. Since Japan has won, the S&P has been up by a crazy amount. You're talking well over 100% over the periods of time that they win. If Japan's in the driver's seat, it means that all of our portfolios go up. So that's why I'm rooting for Team Japan.
When we say we're a full-service podcast, let it not be said that we're not trying to cover every conceivable base. History, pop culture, finance. I mean, what the hell?
I was going to say the exact same thing.
We did. I was waiting for this moment. You said, hey, we got it all. I was like, we haven't hit finance yet, boys, but it's coming.
Holy cow.
No, we're talking about Teddy Roosevelt here. We're talking about finance.
Listen,
and we're talking about pop
go
culture
back
and
and
Frank
look at
Castle.
Go back.
Right.
Call me a liar and go back and look to see how the market did since 2006, since the inception of the WBC.
I love that we're creating a whole new financial science with these market indicators that are related to the World Baseball Classic. Economists everywhere will study the hammer theory on the World Baseball Classic is a world market event.
Yes, it is. That's all you got to say. Is you can say, hey, listen, WBC, S&P is choice for me.
I should just retire this podcast now. Like, this is it. This is the pinnacle. There's nowhere else to go. I mean,
but make sure that we have to add this little disclaimer that the Three Tool Players podcast does not offer any sort of financial advice or wisdom. This is purely for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, please reach out to a licensed financial planner and don't listen to the three of us. Certainly don't listen to Brian Hammer, who is now tied all of this financial stuff to Japan winning.
Don't listen to me. I have a perfect credit score.
I knew that was coming out.
Here we go.
That's right. You're welcome. I am fiscally responsible.
You can check out every single episode of the Three Tool Players podcast wherever fine podcasts are sold. That would include Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And you can follow us and Brian's perfect credit score on TikTok and on Instagram at 3toolplayers and on x.com at 3toolpod. For Brian and Dan Hammer, I'm Chris Spear, and we thank you for listening to this episode of Three Tool Players.
Spear, you forgot. You could also find it on his Hinge profile, his perfect credit score.
His perfect credit score on Hinge.
Equifax for the win.